Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunattu Sahaviryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. There is a quick question we have from one of the student. I understand that religion is uniting back to the self or Brahman. And I also understand that when I am reunited with the self in the spiritual path, I will be blissful and happy. I want to know, does the Creator just wants us to be happy in our life? I want to know what is the purpose of our life after we have achieved self-realization or Brahman. Before going on to answering this, now, those who have any questions to ask, or if you have any clarifications from the class, you're most welcome to put it up in the chat, or you can put it up there stating I have a question, so we can give a chance to ask, or you can type your question. You don't have to wait till the class gets over and then you post it. Now, coming to the question that he has raised, he says, yes, I understand. The purpose is once I get there, I will live a blissful life. Right. After that, what? Vedanta is mum about that. Vedanta doesn't say anything. Because it is not that Vedanta wants you to get to the self. Remember that. You wanted to get back to the self. And since you didn't know how, Vedanta helps you how to reach there. That's about it. Vedanta is not coming and telling you, please realize the self. Do a great favor to Brahman by realizing Brahman. All that. That's not the point. Right. This is see, every answer we analyze from different angles and different levels. So there is no one answer we have for these things. It depends. It varies. So strictly speaking, what after realization, you will know after realization. Now first you finish it, then come back to me. I will tell you what you should do after realization. If you come back to me, right? So first get there, right? It's like a child coming and asking, after school what? Tell me that. The teacher will say what? First finish your 10th exam. 10th board you finish first. Before even completing the 10th board, you are coming and asking me what after that? Is that all education about only to pass 10th standard? To the 10th standard student, we will say what? Pass 10th standard. That's all your job is. You don't have any other job now. You don't worry about what will happen after that. First come there. Right. But having said this, don't think, there is no meaning to it, please. It is exactly like, even if you say that I wanted to help someone, help the world, the fundamental requirement is what? When you say that I want to help, first requirement is you should be there, is it not? Only when you are there, you can do something. Right now, you are not there. Your whole life is lived in absence. Your life is not lived in presence at all. There is no alertness or awareness that you know of in your life. Once in a while you are aware. Once in a while you are alert. Correct. When you are taking the first morsel of the food, you are alert, you are aware of what you are eating. After that, you are absent. Similarly, in the beginning of the movie, you are alert that I am watching a movie. I am sitting in this theater. I am watching this movie. Now, once the movie starts, you are out completely. You are lost completely in the movie. Now, when you are totally absent, what is it that you can do? That is what realization is all about. Realization is all about only one thing, that is to be aware of your presence, that I am. That awareness you should have first. But you can't manufacture that. Don't try to be aware on all that, please. You cannot. It doesn't work that way. You can't say from tomorrow what I'm going to do is I'm going to be walking with full awareness. It will be like a ghost walking. It will not be like a normal man, please. Don't start, I'm going to eat every morsel of food. Consciously, I'm going to eat. Consciously, I'm going to take bath. It will take 2.5 hours for you to finish your bath. You see, it will not help you in any way, please. Now, that's where Vedanta says, first, bring your presence. After that, whatever happens, let it happen. It doesn't matter what happens after that. Once you get educated, doesn't matter what you do. Whether you are going to be taking up a profession, or you are going to be doing a business, or you are going to go out teaching, it doesn't make any difference. First, get yourself educated. That's it. You don't have to worry about what else and what more. First, get that. Once you get this, and then he says, that's the creator. First of all, creator is not interested in what you are going to do. Because that's what he's asking, Does the creator want us to be just happy in life? There is an assumption that there is a creator who created you and gave you that and said, hey, I want you to be happy. If at all there were to be a creator, he is not going to be saying, I want you to be happy or I want you to be miserable. If at all there is a creator, he will want you to be. That's all. What? That is not his concern. He will just want you to be. That's about it. And the creator, if there were to be someone, the creator is not interested in your life being happily you are living your life, or you are living your life in a miserable way. That's your choice. That has got nothing to do with the creator, please. Creator is not the deciding factor for your misery or your bliss, your happiness. That's your choice. That's your making. You make your life, you mar your life. Before you can venture into anything, essential requirement is first you correct yourself. Correcting yourself is this, and that itself is the highest service any human can render to the world. What does it say? Irrespective of any situation, I remain happy. Now, most of us are happy most of the time. Up to what point? To the point I am getting whatever I wanted in my life, I will be happy. The moment what I wanted, my supply cut off. Not all the supply. Little reduction in the supply is enough for us to get agitated. You lose. Now, if you say that I want to help the world, first you have to help yourself. That's what Socrates says. Healers, heal thyself. Reformers, are you reformed? If you are reformed, that is enough. Whatever happens after that doesn't make any difference. It will be a benefaction to the world. The sheer existence of such a personality itself is a service. It's not that you have to do something for that. It's like a rose asking, after flowering, what else I have to do? Your job is done. A flower is supposed to bloom, blossom, that's it. Once it blooms, that's all, the job is done. It has done its service. It has achieved its purpose. What else to be done, sir, after that? There is nothing to be done after that. That's the highest service that you can render to humanity, or rather to the whole world. What is it? Just realize the self. The problem is we cannot realize the self. See, these are all just, the mind tricking you, saying you are being so selfish in the pursuit of your happiness. You should start giving happiness to the world. You can give only what you have. You cannot give what is not yours. Today, the happiness that you are experiencing is not yours. It's given by somebody to you. You have borrowed it from the world. From the borrowings, you are not supposed to be giving to somebody. You cannot do that. That's not yours. I cannot borrow your car and sell it. If you still want to follow that, I will come and ask your car. I don't know whether you have a car with you. I don't know whoever has asked that question. First thing that fellow will ask is what? I want to give this house. First question is it yours? I say, no, that is not mine. That is this fellow's. That's somebody else's. Now that fellow's house, how can I give? Now today, all that happiness that you are experiencing, is it yours? Or is it because of something, a condition outside in the world? If it is condition outside in the world, it is not yours, it is world's. Now, how can you spread happiness to the world? How can you do any service to anyone in the world? Fundamental requirement, if you have to give, you should be the sole owner of it. It should be in complete ownership of yours. I should own it fully. Only then I have the right to give. Even if it is partnership, right? I am only a co-owner of something. I cannot give that property. Not allowed. It is illegal. It will not be accepted. It will be challenged. You have to be a soul. That is soul ownership. When you have that bliss, which is not the quantified bliss of realization. Bliss of realization is not a quantifiable one. It is infinite. Infinite means what? Anything taken out of that, what remains is infinity. Infinity minus infinity is infinity. You can take out infinite out of it. What remains is still infinite. Nothing is lost. Today, if I show love towards another person, those who are enjoying my love today starts feeling jealous. Saying what? Some portion of that love which is supposed to be shared with me is getting shared with that person. I can't take it. My share should not be divided at all. I should be getting my full portion. Today, whatever you are carrying is all partial, nothing total. Only upon realization, you get the totality. Till that point, don't try to do anything else. Just go about your realization. But the problem is, many people today keep saying this, that you pursuing realization is selfish. Going and serving the world is unselfish, which is superior. That shows only the pathetic ignorance of what is spiritual evolution is. It shows ignorance only. It doesn't show any wisdom, please. They don't understand what is the difference between selfish and selfless. The distinction is not there. Since that clarity is not there, people start believing. That is why all these questions keeps coming up. It says, somewhere it will come in and say, don't pursue it. So pursuit of this is not happening. Why? Because that's all my life is. I just have to be happy. That's it. Isn't it amounting to selfishness? So what am I supposed to do? All that God wants me to do is what? Just realize the self and be happy. That's about it. Then there is no difference between materialistic thinking and a spiritual thinking, because the materialistic thinking person also says that same thing. What is it? He also says, hey, life is what, man? Be happy. And you come to Vedanta, Vedanta also says the same thing. So definitely you will get confused. Oh, are they talking same thing? No, they are not speaking the same thing, please. There's a world of difference. One is selfishness, another one is selflessness. You can't equate selfish and selfless same. And unselfish is inferior to selfless. Unselfish is not superior to selfless. No doubt. Being unselfish is superior to selfish. Instead of being selfish, you be unselfish, correct? But if you have to make a choice between selfless and unselfish, you should choose selfless. That's your obligation. That's what you're supposed to do. And the bliss of realization doesn't mean that selfish thought that I have to be happy. Because what is that I? What is that I? And you say, I have to be is the I want to know, does the Creator just wants us to be happy in our life? What is that us? What do you mean by us? That is why we are studying the composite personality. That is why that human composition is important. You see, that's why the fundamentals are important. When we are not having the clarity, we will just use words without realizing what we are using. What is the meaning of it? That's why we are studying what is that I means. Primarily, I refers to what? I refers to, in the limited sense, I means the combination of spirit and matter. In the absolute sense, I means only the spirit, because there is no life for matter. The life-giving principle is the spirit. which we don't know yet. As on date, what we can understand is only matter. From there, Vedanta educates us, look here, you are not only matter, you are matter plus X. That X is referred as spirit, soul, self, Atman, Brahman, God principle, life principle, pure consciousness, etc. Right. Now, I'm just moving from the question to the text. Okay. I think there is a question has come in. So, can you perform unselfish action when you are not selfless? Yes. When you are not able to attune yourself to selflessness, the highest you can go to is only unselfishness. And remember, the difference is only this, which I did refer in the previous class. That's why I'm taking the lead from there. I do remember to have mentioned it. If not, it's okay. It doesn't matter. You take it from today. See, selfish and unselfish means relative sense, meaning both belong to the category of desires. I have two types of desires. I can have a selfish desire or I can have an unselfish desire. Selfless desire, not possible. There is no such thing called selfless desire. You in terms of a word you can have. Remember that. In terms of a word, as a sentence you can create. But there is no existence to it. Like horns of a man. Word is there. You can visualize also. But does it actually exist? There is no existence to such thing called horns of a man. Similarly, selfless desire, they don't go together. I will explain why. You should know basically what is the meaning of a desire. This is where the problem is. We use desire without even knowing the meaning of it. Means, for me to desire something, desire may be too technical term. Lighter word is liking. Okay. If I were to ask you, do you like delicious? What is the answer? Someone should type no. Nobody typed. Everybody is looking at me. Correct? Do you like delicious? Yes or no? You cannot answer this question neither yes nor no. You cannot say, yes, I like. Nor you can say, I don't like. Why? You don't even know what is delicious. Some of you may be thinking it is maybe an island next to Mauritius. Another person may be thinking, because I am taking Vedanta class, philosophy session, I think he must be some, Greek philosopher. It's a guess only of yours. Okay. It is only guessing. You can neither have a liking for him, nor you can have a disliking for him. You can neither love nor hate. Nothing you can do. Anything which is unknown to you, you can never develop a desire for it. Now come to the idea of self-realization. What do you know of self-realization? What do you know of Brahman? What do you know of God? You have no clue of God. You have no clue of Brahman. You have no clue of the self. Now, Can you develop a desire for that? Can you have a liking for that? Nor can you have a dislike for it. Remember, desiring something is possible only when you know. Essential requirement is to have an idea of what it is. When you are not having a clue of what it is, you can never develop a desire towards that. In the world, you can know things. What is that you can know? You can know two things within the world. What are the things you can know of? I can understand me. I can understand the other also. That is why I can have a desire. So see these people who have pets, they have a dog. And I have seen some of them combing the dog, they comb the dog. And they do, pedicure, manicure and all they do. When you do a pedicure to the dog, does the dog understand that you are doing pedicure to it? See, the dog never understands. You see, it has no clue. What you are doing, it has no idea. That's why when you have a pet, from the day one till the last day, it's a child only. There is no growth in that. Nothing else will happen. It will just remain there. But you understand, isn't it? You understand what is happening to you, and you also understand what is happening around you. You understand what is happening to you. You also understand what is happening in the surroundings. Now, if I choose a particular course of action for the benefit of the surrounding, even at the cost of mine, that is called unselfish. I choose to benefit mine even if it costs the surrounding. That is called selfish. Selfish, unselfish, possible only to the extent you are able to recognize and identify with this comparison. But both are known to you. Remember that. That capacity human being has got. So when I want to do something, when I decide to do a course of action pertaining to my body, my mind, my intellect, satisfying my equipments, when I perform actions, even if it means impinging upon or causing damage to others' body, mind, intellect, I don't care. I say, suffer, I don't mind. But I wanted my body, my mind, my intellect to be satisfied. If I perform actions there, I am selfish, which is known to me. Same way, the other one also known to me. What is it? When I see the pain or the pleasure experienced by the other body, other mind, other intellect, I see the joy. I can recognize the joy. I can register the pleasure experienced by the other. And I also could have got a pleasure. But I say, instead of me having the pleasure, let you have that pleasure of it. Have it. That is called unselfish. But remember, both are within the realm of the known. Selfish, unselfish, both are within that same level. Whereas selfless, when you say, it is totally different. The difference between selfish and unselfish is a difference of degree. Okay. Whereas difference between unselfish and selfless is difference in kind. They're totally two different things. There is no connection. There's no connection between this and that. Because selflessness is you dedicate your actions not because it is benefiting my body, my mind, my intellect, nor it is benefiting the other's body, mind, and intellect. I keep aside those things and execute action. Independent of that, when I am performing action, that is where I become selfless. So selflessness is belonging to a different cadre. Selfish, unselfish will get interchanged. Remember, a person who is so unselfish to that particular has to be selfish from another level. I am so unselfish with reference to my country, but I will be very selfish when it comes to other country. Isn't it? As far as the Germans were concerned, Hitler is who? I'm not saying, I'm just giving an example. That's about it. Okay. How the Germans, the Nazi period, I'm talking about, not today. Right? How the Jews were seeing Hitler and how the Nazis were seeing Hitler. Within Germany, he is very unselfish, correct. But with reference to these people, what is he? Not just unselfish, he's a Rakshasa for them. Right? For those people. But for him, what is he? So my unselfishness always carries a tinge of selfishness along with it. Remember this. This is the danger of unselfishness. So when you say that I want to go beyond that unselfishness, where I wanted to see the possibility of unselfish, where no tinge of selfishness in that. That is called selfless action. Now, when I'm saying this, immediately people will be thinking, sir, selfish, unselfish, you gave example. Now, can you give an example of selfless action? Will be a standard question being asked by a lot of people. The moment we say this. Now, the tragedy is, the moment we come to the selfless action, we will never give any human action as an example. Even in the Shastras also, they don't. Okay. They immediately go to actions like rose gives fragrance, nightingale sings, sun gives light, vitality. Does it have any desire? Does it have any motive? There is no motive. There is nobody there today to enjoy the fragrance. Therefore, the rose is not going to say, I'm not going to give my fragrance. Oh, that fellow is coming. My gardener is coming. The fellow who has nourished. So let me give all the fragrance to him. Not to this fellow. No, it doesn't make any difference. It will give. Whether people are there or not, it just gives. Now, human actions, if you ask, very difficult for us to give in terms of example. You see, that's why a lot of people get confused. Why can't you give a human example? Because human beings are perverted completely. Ulta fellows. You see? Now, if I tell you a human action, you will start immediately interpreting it. You see, you can't keep quiet. we can't just take it and say, yes, that's what a fellow went up, Christ, a fellow asked, there is God. Christ stood up and said, behold thy Lord, he said. He did. I'm standing here in front of you. Huh? You're asking, where is God? That's why Buddha went on saying, there is no God. There's no God. Why? Buddha was not denying God. He's saying, you go to Buddha and ask, where is God? It is like you coming to me and asking, where is Ishwaran? What is the answer I'll give? That means what? That means you don't know Ishwaran. And then if I tell you, I am Ishwaran, what is the proof? Huh? What is the proof I'll give? I am Ishwaran. I have to give you my certificate. What is the proof that is your certificate? What is the proof this? Now, Buddha says, forget about all this. There is no God. Get out. Problem solved. He doesn't want to talk to those fellows. The subsequent followers of Buddha started calling, Buddha started denying God. He was not denying God. He was only reflecting what these people are doing. Now, Christ is not like, cutthroat teacher. He is a very charitable man. He is very genuine. Very simple he is. So he stood up and said, behold, hey, I am there. What did these fellows do to him? You see, oh, you are God, is it? Okay, we will put you in cross and prove to us that you are. That shows, human mind is a wreck actually. It's not a right sample. If you want a proper sample of the world, you have to take it from nature only. Human cannot be taken as a right sample. Remember, it's a wrong thing to do, to take human beings as a sample. You see, it's a wrong one to do. That is why we cannot give examples. So if you search for example for selfless action, example you will never find. You have to get back to the principle. You have to digest the concept only. You have to understand the idea of selfless action. In the absolute sense, selfless actions means independent of anything. I just express myself. That's called selfless action. I just perform action. That's it. It doesn't make any difference. Selfless action. That way, what is it that you can do, sir? If you want to learn it, there is a way of doing it. When you want to learn to execute selfless actions, the rules are different. For which we say, you fix the goal of realization and direct your efforts to realization. Those actions were called selfless actions. Actions dedicated to the goal of realization is called selfless action. In the relative sense of the term. Absolute sense of the term, selfless action is actions performed by a man of realization. Women also, okay. Right. Immediately people say, you mean to say women are not realized? They say, women of realization also. The self-realized, that enlightened being, his actions were called selfless actions. Pure form of action. We cannot perform it like that. We don't know about it. Still. So what we do is, we fix the goal of realization and say, I want to direct my efforts for that purpose. Like, a person does exercising. He keeps that diet. He keeps a particular diet. He exercises. He is so fit. He builds his body to its perfection. Why, sir? Because that movie that he is going to play needs that. You see, no, these movies, these actors and all they do. In that movie, he is playing the role of, they see, this, what is that movie? Amir Khan. You did know that Red Wrestler. He performed as a wrestler, as two cases will come in there. One as a young fellow where he is wrestling, another one is he is the father of those two daughters. Old man. And they show how he has trained. There is a YouTube video of his training. Oh my God, unbelievable effort of at this age to build. When he comes as a red wrestler. He can't come like we have an actor called Dhanush in Tamil. The wrestling you can't do. He's like Bruce Lee body, yes, or what we call as wrestling he cannot be doing. That is not possible. Suppose imagine if a person were to be playing the role of a sumo wrestler. So when he's exercising keeping the idea of what? That's why you see all these actresses, when they are in market, they keep their figure perfect. The moment they're out of market and see, in a matter of 6 months, 1 year, you see their pictures, you can't make out. Who's that? Suddenly they put on weight. Why? They were maintained, they were exercising, they were dieting, they're doing all these things before. For what? If I have to maintain my body fit, only then I can have my market. Sportsmen also. If I am not fit physically, I cannot do. For that, I am keeping my fitness on. This is one category. There are other category of people who say that I am also exercising, I am also keeping myself fit. Why? I don't want to pay hospital bill. You see, I don't want to make the hospitals rich. I don't want to make the doctor richer. All that I have to do is what? Do the exercise and maintain proper. So that I don't have to pay those fellows so much of things. For that also he can do. Like that we can go on thinking. Very many reasons can be there for a person to go for fitness. Now selfless action means you maintain that same exercising, you perform all those things, not to do it for the sake of realization. In one of the class earlier, a lady was asking, he said, how do you explain that? I don't understand still. I want to reduce weight. I'm going for exercising. I want to maintain slim. You should be slim, man. Can't, be fat. I'm just doing it for that purpose. Now, how can I convert that into selfless? I said, very simple. You travel in Lal Bagh Express, not now. Now I don't know whether it is running or not. Lal Bagh Express is there. A train from Bangalore to Chennai. Buy one ticket, go and sit. You will understand what is the problem. Right? Not in Shatabdi, not Shatabdi. Lal Bagh Express, not AC class. Sitting. You sit there. There are supposed to be 3 people sitting in that place. 3, 3, 3, 3. Like that it will be. Right? Sitting only. If you are stuck in the middle seat, you are finished. Those who have traveled will know. Those who have not traveled, try that. Whenever the Corona period gets over, try that. You're stuck between those two fellows. Right? At least in the flights, there is an arm comes in, so you can push that fellow there and say, this is my seat. You can sit. In this one, it is one, bench. The two fat fellows come and sit. There is no place for you to sit in between. Is it? When you are fat, you are arrogating that much of space to yourself. Who gives you the right to arrogate so much of space? Why do you want to arrogate yourself? I don't want to arrogate myself for that. For that, I am keeping myself slim. How many people are putting efforts like that, you tell me? If at all you want to reduce your weight, you want to reduce your weight only for what? Only to put on more, that's all. Otherwise, what is the reason for us to reduce weight? Otherwise, doctor says your fat percentage has increased more. Cholesterol is more, this is more, fat is more, this problem, that problem. Therefore, we do. How many of us feel that I am arrogating that space which ought not to be arrogated by me? Maintain this much only. Immediately, I'm not saying everyone should go to zero. I don't understand what is the meaning of the zero. Figure they say. Zero figure means you should disintegrate and disappear. I say zero. How do you define that? I say first requirement. When you go to, for men, I don't know about women, okay? I don't know about that, so I can't tell. Whenever you go to the shops, they keep trousers, for display. You look at the display trousers, all of them will be 32 size. They will never keep 40. They will not keep 28. They will not keep all that. 32 is the size they keep. I say just maintain 32, nothing else. That is called right size. You don't go more, you don't go less also. Just maintain it. Like that, to define every dimension of your life and live, where you don't arrogate anything to yourself. That is the life of selflessness. Beyond unselfishness. But you can't bypass unselfishness. Now, therefore, we say, at least be unselfish. You see, when we say in Vedanta, be unselfish, what is referred is, at least be unselfish. If you cannot be selfless, lowest, compromise. Where do you compromise? Compromise and develop unselfishness. But remember, selflessness is beyond unselfishness. So don't think selfless is equal to selfish. This is where the problem is. It transcends this. Since people don't recognize this as a transcending idea, they start criticizing this also like that. You're only talking about only your moksha. Only your moksha. Only your moksha. You have no idea of what is moksha. You are talking about only your liberation, no? What can I do for your liberation? I can only liberate myself. When I myself has not liberated, how can I help you to get liberated? When I myself is an illiterate, in what way I can give you literacy? An illiterate were to be teaching another illiterate will produce illiterates only. You ask me, what's the proof, Ishwaran? The class is the proof. Illiterate teaching, that's what Upanishad says. Blind leading the blind. A blind fellow becomes a leader for blind people. And his point is what? First, let everybody get eye. Last one to get eye will be myself. Till then, what are you going to do? Tell everyone, keep developing eyes, keep developing eyes, keep developing eyes. What are we talking? But theoretically, when we say, it looks so, beautiful to hear that first, don't worry about your moksha. Worry about others' moksha. If that is the case, I will say, but that is not that fellow will do with reference to his child. First, let all the kids in the world get educated. Last one will be my child application form. Will he say that? The same fellow who says, don't worry about the moksha of others, with reference to his child's school application form or his son's college admission, will he say, first let all the kids, all the students get it. Last one will be me. It's theoretically to speak, to hear, it will look nice, but practically not possible. Whereas selflessness will look so difficult theoretically, but practically very easy. I repeat, there are ideas in life which will appear beautiful on theorem. In practice, not possible. So simple, so valid theoretically. Vedantic teachings will appear theoretically difficult, almost impossible, but practically possible. Only requirement is to take a plunge. The selflessness, never compromise. Just for the sake of it, whether you are doing it or not, doesn't matter. Keep repeating to yourself that one day I would like to try and live selflessly. At least one moment in my life, every day, at least 1 minute I should have lived every day in a selfless mode. Only then we understand the beauty of it, the grandeur of it. The idea is to go to that selflessness. That is realization. Starting is this. Now, from where you begin, sir, that's what he is beginning here. He is beginning from the idea of understand the human personality properly. None of us have a clarity on what is the human personality. That's why he says, first basic understanding you have. Then he moved on to explaining what is the essential dimension of human personality. Now, after Atman as a human personality, what you get is this. What we get is this. You see there, the top one, the whole human being personality, human personality, starts with Atman, the self. The next one, further development, we don't know about it yet. With reference to Atman, we have no idea. What is it and all, we don't know. You see, Atman, we don't have an understanding. What is it and all those things. So what we know of is only body, mind, intellect. Now, between this body, mind, and intellect and Atman, there is a factor called vasanas. Vasanas means fragrance, literally, in Sanskrit. Vasana means fragrance. That's about it. Meaning, the human being, the personality of a human is not defined by Atman. It is defined by the vasanas, which is the seed of human personality. And that seed develops. That's the root. The root starts growing. That further growth of that is body, mind, intellect. So that vasanas makes the human personality. That vasanas expresses as actions at the body level, as emotions, feeler at the mind level, expresses as thoughts at the intellect. It's the seed. Vasana is the seed of your nature of your thoughts, your emotions, your actions. The nature is based on the three factors, three gunas. You say sattva, rajas, tamas. You may be entertaining a sattvic thought, sattvic emotion, sattvic action. Rajasic thought, rajasic emotions, rajasic action. Tamasic thought, tamasic emotion, tamasic action. As the vasanas, so will be the personality. So first thing about the human personality, what we need to understand is there is a thing called vasanas. And vasanas means your inherent nature. Your inherent nature which every human carries. But what is interesting is, at any given point of time, one particular nature only will manifest. Mark this carefully. Right? At a particular point, only one aspect of your personality will come out. Right now, we are sitting in the class. I'm teaching now. I'm speaking, you're listening. At this time, the philosophical vasana expresses as a philosophical personality right now. So I would appear very, very philosophical right now. Okay. After 8:30, you come and see me, or after 8:30, how you will be. Right. Philosophy elangal out. Right. This is what the problem is. And that is why one day, one time, I look so generous. Right. Other time, I look so cruel. I do cruel things. I say cruel things. I do gross things. I do all this. Other times, all my actions, expressions, manifestations, emotions, thoughts, ideas, all that were appearing so noble. So one time I am so noble, another time I am so cruel. And you know the real tragedy there? The real tragedy is both are getting expression through the same physical body. Okay? It's happening through the same body. Since it is happening through the same personality, same physical body, we get confused in understanding, hey, is he cruel or is he generous? Is he this? Is he that? Is he this? Is he this? Is he this? Is he that? And all that variations that we see, more you spend time with that person, more you get confused in understanding what he is. That is why we don't allow, we stay away from people. Why? Because you will get totally confused. Suddenly that fellow starts looking like this, suddenly he looks like that, and you can't reconcile. It's the same for everyone. That is why we get divorce also. Why divorce is happening? Particularly after love marriage, only divorce happens more. Actually speaking, arranged marriage should be having more divorces. 95% divorce should be happening from arranged marriage. Why? Because the time that we get to meet each other is only what? 10 minutes maximum. In fact, that's the time I got. I told, when we went to see Alliance, so I went to their house to see them, So I told them I wanted to talk to the wife, to that girl. And they were all looking at me. Why? And my father got more tensed, because if I talk, she will say no. Definitely, I don't want this fellow. I started talking, and suddenly, my brother walked in. The fellow came in. Appa is calling you. Said, I said, "No, exact 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, he sent the person inside. He said, hey, come out. In 10 minutes, what you understand the person is what you will understand. Therefore, what? Misunderstanding possibilities are more. Right? In the Western country, what is that conditions are? There, all that is what? Dating, 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 dating. After about 5 years of dating, they decide. Because the child says, who is my father now? They say, okay, come, let's go now. Go for, you know, go to church, let's get married now and get it registered also. The moment that happens, after that, what happens? A divorce. Why? Because that's what he calls as composite personality. The personality consists of all that. And the problem is, it is manifesting through all these things. Therefore, there is a problem, is it? Because the expression of the vasana happens through the same body. So we start believing that personality to be good, bad, etc., all that is wrong. When the generosity getting manifested, what we should understand right now, generous vasana is manifesting. That's all. The personality is not generous. Remember that. This is where it's very important. Why this vasana point? Sir, suddenly why he is introducing vasana now? See, he will slowly introduce one by one as we start studying. Here he is introducing, first he is introducing vasana. And then he will introduce one more, next one. Another fascinating dimension of human aspect. But first thing he introduces is vasanas. Why? Because the vasanas is the essential foundation. In understanding vasanas, what you should understand is you carry very many vasanas. At any point of time, only one vasana will manifest. The dominant vasana will manifest. That doesn't mean other vasanas are not there. The problem is we see this and attribute that personality itself is this, ignoring all other things. That is why when the cruel vasana manifests through that same body, we get confused. He was not like that earlier. I thought he was so generous personality. Now he has turned. Nothing has happened, please. That vasana manifested. No, that's all. And very many vasanas, very many expressions. All those very many expressions collection is called a personality. Don't isolate a particular expression. Now, most of you interact with Ishwaran only from the dimension of philosophy, because you have seen Ishwaran's manifestation only when philosophy vasana manifesting. Therefore, you come to conclusion what? Entire Ishwaran is philosophy. So, whole week in the house, what he must be talking? That's why, wife always gets confused. Daughter gets more confused. He says, how these people are listening to you? And some of them listen to you twice also, same class. They think something wrong with you people. I agree with them in a way. But it's interesting to see. Why? Because you interacted Ishwaran only from the philosophical manifestation. Philosophy vasana manifesting you see. But Ishwaran personality is what? Many vasanas. And the problem is, vasanas we cannot understand. Because it is the seed. You cannot capture the vasana, you can capture only the manifestation. The first manifestation of the vasana is mind and intellect. You see, so far what we have seen is these things. Atman, self. With reference to Atman, you can understand that it is beyond your thing. Vasanas also you cannot understand, because that is also beyond your capacity, because it's behind. You see, it is unmanifest thought, which is not manifested. You cannot. It's like I keep 10 people sleeping. Let's say there are 5 fellows sleeping. I ask you, tell me who is a mathematician in that. When 10 kids are sleeping, where 10 fellows are sleeping, I ask you, who is a historian in that? Who is a musician in that? Who is a Vedantin in that? Now, what can you answer? After they wake up, you ask them a question. Calculus. If the fellow brings calculator, we say what? He is not a mathematician. When we say calculus, he brings a calculator. No, he is not a mathematician. Simple. He is not. And then you see another man, every time he is walking, he keeps on humming something. It means what? He is a musician. And everybody is wrong. If the fellow says, we say, he must be Vedanta. Because that's what, philosophers do. Philosopher's job is to say what? Everybody is wrong. Obviously, he is correct. It's a philosopher. Say, after they wake up and start speaking, start expressing, only we can understand. Vasana is sleeping. Your personality is sleeping. At that stage, you cannot understand. So, Atman we cannot understand. Vasana also we cannot understand. Then comes the body. When it comes to body, I'm just talking about just the body. If you take body, more or less the body is equal to all of us. Remember this. There's no difference. You may say, how do you know that? You watch a Korean movie. Okay. I stop somewhere and ask you, who is the heroine and who is heroine's friend? You can't recognize. All girls look same. All boys look same there. All Japanese look same for our eyes. Isn't it? All of them look same for our eyes. Same way, for those fellows, when they come to India, all of us look same. Like we say, no, all zebras look same for our eyes. But the zebras know the difference. They know the difference. Remember, body-wise, there is no difference. It's the same thing. There is a vast amount of equality at the level of body for any species. You see, there's no difference. That is why everybody's eyes were kept in the same position. It's not that for one fellow eyes is here, one fellow eyes is here, one fellow eyes is here, ears is somewhere else. No, everybody's ears in the same place. Everybody's nose is in the same place. Everyone has got a heart in the same place. That's why a surgeon is able to cut through. Imagine suddenly one fellow's heart is in the leg. Now, there's no such thing. It's the same body. When it comes to body, more or less equality is there, sameness is there. Then the heterogeneous variety that we are seeing is not because of Atman. It is not at the level of Vasanas, because we can understand. Atman we don't know. Vasanas we cannot understand. At the body level, there is a a great sense of equality, which we may not see, which we may not agree at our levels. That you can recognize when it comes to other species, particularly zebras. Very easy to say, all zebras look same for our eyes. All cobras will look same for our eyes. But they know the difference. This is a different one, that's a different one. This is a different one. That's why they, even in the herd, they go to the right, mother. They go and reach there. How is it? Because they can see the difference. They know this is not, this is. But for our eyes, all look same. Then where is that heterogeneous variety comes into picture, sir? The heterogeneity is not at the level of body, not at the level of vasanas, not at the level of the self, Atman. Then where is it? In between, there is one thing called mind and intellect. Manas and Buddhi is referred as Manas and Buddhi. So, anytime we discuss about a personality, mostly we will be referring only to the Manas and Buddhi. Right? We don't refer to vasanas, generally. But strictly speaking, we have to say personality means what, sir? Vasanas. Your personality is equal to your vasanas. Your vasanas is your personality. But we can't understand it. Therefore, it comes in only as this. Then he gives the further one. The mind experiences emotions as a feeler. Then you have the intellect. So, Atman enlivens the vasanas, expresses at the stage of mind, experiencing emotions, the feeler. Assumes the personality of a feeler, experiencing various emotions. Atman, through the vasanas, expresses at the body level, through the organs of perception when it is perceiving the sense objects of the world, it is called a perceiver. Atman, enlivening the vasanas, functions through the body, through organs of action. As an actor, you perform various actions. Atman functioning through the intellect, and this intellect has got two aspects, gross and subtle. Right now you understand this much. Intellect, buddhi. Buddhi means it has two dimensions, gross intellect and subtle intellect. Tikshna buddhi and sukshma buddhi, referred as in Sanskrit. In English, it is known as gross intellect and subtle intellect. When you are engaging the gross intellect, you are called a thinker. When you are engaging the subtle intellect, you are called a contemplator. Contemplating on the thoughts of reality, thinker thinking on the thoughts of the world. I'll explain that in the next class. Thank you.